I compared what's going on in Washington to that old Johnny Cash song, One Piece at a Time. They're taking it one piece at a time. Here's the latest. District of Columbia House Voting Rights Act would give D.C. a full vote in the House of Representatives. Opponents argue that the bill violates the Constitution because D.C. isn't a state. According to the Constitution, House of Representatives is chosen by, quote, the people of the United States. Supporters say, well, Congress has the power to grant D.C. full voting rights if they want to. But I don't think this is really about, taxation and no representation. We have Hans van Spakovsky. He is the former commissioner for the Federal Elections Commission. And Alir Zerka. He is executive director of DC Vote, advocacy group that supports the bill. Okay. Alon, let me just start with you, sir. You say no taxation without representation, right? Which I agree with.
That's right.
Okay.
Washingtonians... Go ahead. I'm sorry, Glenn.
No. That's fine. I mean, that's why we were founded. We want representation. How could you possibly take my money if you're not going to let me choose how it is spent? However, the way this is being pushed through Congress right now is under the radar and absolutely not constitutional. They change the Constitution. Have the real discussion.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you're absolutely right. The constitutional argument, I think, is a smokescreen for people who are opposed to voting representation for Washingtonians. Someone like Judge Ken Starr has argued very forcefully, and I think convincingly, that Congress does have the power under something called the District Clause to treat the city as if it's a state. And it already does that for purposes of the Commerce Clause and the Diversity Jurisdiction Clause of the Constitution.
Look.
So Judge Ken Starr and Viet Dinh and other conservatives say that we can do it this way, and I agree with them, and so does the majority of the Congress.
Hans, let's give America a little perspective on what this means when he says they just don't want to give them representation because they don't want the vote. They're going for the congressional vote now, or for the House vote now, but Hans, correct me if I'm wrong, yes or no, the real goal is to also get the Senate as well.
Oh, I think that's for sure going to be the next step. But I mean, this is blatantly unconstitutional. And Mr. Zerka mentions the District Clause, which gives Congress exclusive jurisdiction over the district. Well, that's because the founders saw Washington as a federal city, and of course they're going to have authority over running the city. That same paragraph gives Congress the same authority over forts, armories, Navy bases, and other federal buildings. But if we were to propose that they give Andrews Air Force Base, for example, a voting member of Congress, everybody would say, well, that's an absurd proposal.
Yeah, response.
Michael Steele, Michael Steele, who's head of the Republican National Committee, thinks that this is a civil rights issue. And Mike Pence, who's part of the Republican leadership in the House, also thinks that this is both constitutional and the right thing to do.
Listen. Then let's have that conversation. I am so sick of people taking this Constitution. It took these guys a long time. They read a lot of books and a lot of history to put the principles together in this thing, and we're running it through the shredder every time somebody wants to do what they want to do. Look, you either change the Constitution, live by the Constitution, and have those conversations, or you know what? What the hell are we even doing? Why play this game anymore?
Glenn, the reason that proponents are doing this through legislation is because 30 years ago they tried to do this through a constitutional amendment, and the states failed to ratify it. The reason they're able in the district today to vote for president is because in 1961 the states ratified the 23rd Amendment. If this could be done without a constitutional amendment, there would have been no need to do it that way, and they could have done it through legislation. They didn't. They passed the 23rd Amendment. They can vote for president. If they believe that they need representation in Congress, then they need to convince the rest of the country to support this and do it through a constitutional amendment.
Okay, look, here's the deal. America, when we come back, hang on. When we come back, I'm going to tell you what this is really all about next.